It's time for Film-o-rama!
Hello everyone, welcome to the premiere episode of Film-o-rama, where your two favorite idiots talk about movies and streaming series that are playing now. My name's, I can't remember my name. My name is Logan Marks.
I'm Sam Baxter, your other favorite idiot. How you doing, Logan?
I'm doing all right.
Get the early jitters, huh?
Yeah, I
Can't remember your name.
Podcast. I gotta remember everything, and I can't. I'm
I thought you were going to say your name was Sal Undy. Remember that play on name from Al Bundy?
Yeah. Oh, the old
Yeah.
his alias or his fake name that he had.
Al Bundy, Sal Undy. That was so good.
So why don't you talk a little bit about yourself, Sam?
I'm a gamer. I like watching movies and a lot of TV shows and doing a whole lot of nothing. That's why I felt like it was a good idea for us to, I agreed to do this because I felt like this is right in my wheelhouse because I basically don't do shit. So this sounds like this is like a win-win for me. Now, if we can get paid for doing this, that'd be even better. But, I'm pretty sure that won't happen.
Maybe one day we can live the dream and sit around and watch movies and talk about them, and people will pay us large amounts of money. It won't be today. It probably won't be the end of the week.
No.
But maybe someday. Basically, I love movies. I've always loved movies. I like watching them. I've made a couple movies, little short films and stuff when I was in, college and stuff. And nothing really big.
They were good. They were good.
But
they were good movies.
Yeah, I always loved the whole process of it. I like watching them. And with podcasting coming out, I thought it'd be kind of fun just to talk about them.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, why not?
It's in your wheelhouse. Hey, man, you did good movies. Anyone who doesn't know, he did good movies. So, hats off, man. Hats off.
Yep. And then I just fizzled out and just started doing straight porn.
Yeah.
What
What was you said your name was Buck Naked? Right?
Buck Naked and then it just got shit out the end of the porn industry. And now I'm doing podcasts.
Yeah. Didn't you finish off in gay porn? I don't remember.
No, I don't like to talk about that.
Okay.
It's a sensitive subject.
Oh wait, that was me. That was my dream. Never
It's a
mind.
sensitive subject. Very sensitive.
So what are we going to be talking about today?
Today we're going to be watching The Lost City. That's on Paramount
okay.
Plus, and that stars Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, and Daniel I can never say that dude's Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah. Old Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, right?
Mr. Potter. I'm so used to calling him Mr. Potter.
just Harry Balls.
Oh,
and
Brad Pitt. I forget Brad Pitt's in it too.
That was good. That was the best part of the movie, but we'll get into that later.
And then we're gonna talk about God's Favorite Idiot, which is on Netflix, and that stars Melissa McCarthy, Ben Falcone, and some other people. Who were like, I didn't know who they are.
Never heard of. Yeah. Usual gang of idiots.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna be talking about. So let's we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll get back to the TV, the movies, the TV shows.
All right.
Well, The Lost City is about the reclusive author, Laureate Sage, writes about erotic places in her popular adventure novels that feature a handsome cover model named Alan. While on tour promoting her new book with Alan, Loretta gets kidnapped by an eccentric billionaire who hopes she can lead him to an ancient Lost City treasure from her latest story. Determined to prove he can be a hero in real life and not just a page in her book, Alan sets off to rescue her. What'd you think of the movie?
I feel like it had potential, but I feel like it just fell flat. I feel like the chemistry between them, don't get me wrong, they're both good actors and actresses. They have, a lot of good movies under their belt. But I feel like the chemistry, I don't know if it was their chemistry or just the characters that they played chemistry, but it felt like it was just out of sync.
Yeah,
No, Sandra Bullock looks good for 57. Like she's
That's what I was thinking too. When I saw her, I was like, man, she's still fucking good.
She's still got a good body, and I don't know how much of it's cosmetic or not, but she still looks good. And we all know Channing Tatum's in good shape and everything, so we already know that he's going to be a good actor for this role, right? This action film, but he was boring.
and he's young, and he's younger than her, right?
Yeah,
I think he's like 10, maybe 10 years younger.
Channing Tatum only 10. I would feel like maybe a little bit more than that, but
how old is?
Well, he's
Channing
born in
Tatum?
1980, so that puts him at about 42. So he's about 15, 16 years younger than her.
Oh, he is 42. Yeah.
But I mean, I just felt like they didn't really jive, like the story was kind of bland. Like it almost didn't feel like it made sense. Like the way it jumped around. Like in one thing, she's she's at her book signing at the beginning, and then she gets whisked away like by those two guys, and then she's with him he's in some room where you open it up. After he opened it up, showing how rich he is, there's a jet right there. Remember when blowing all that cheese away?
I know. I was so pissed off because they had all that. food on
I
the
love
table.
cheese.
And I was like, look at all that, like strawberries, all this like decadent food, and then he just opens up the window and all that shit flies off. And I was so
cheese,
pissed.
man.
That made me more. That made me super mad.
I don't know. It just kind of felt like it just kept jumping around, and you would think like it just. I don't know. I think they try to make it comical, like she's in her that sequin, that outfit that she was in. And he didn't even let her change. He took her. Then she was like that the whole time. And it was, I don't know. Harry Potter didn't seem like a good villain to me.
I know. It's
one up his brother.
I thought he was a decent villain, but his
I
like
know.
motivation wasn't that great because he was just basically doing it to like
one up his brother
to upstage his brother.
I know.
And I was like, at least come up with something better. Well, I guess I know. It is a comedy.
It's got to be a little ridiculous, right?
You don't expect. Yeah, you don't expect. You're not gonna expect like a
like Commando, realistic, like Commando or Predator, right? Not realistic.
Yeah, you're not gonna expect a realistic villain. I mean, he's gonna be more of a Skeletor villain.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, scary for little kids, but not for like a real person.
The good part, like we said, Brad Pitt, right? Jack Trainer. Remember that was that character. That was pretty good.
It was pretty funny. I actually there were in this movie there were a lot of funny moments in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't like crack up. Like I was dying laughing, but there were some parts where I was like, okay, that's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Jack Trainer gag. Was pretty funny. And just like a bunch of little things in there, like his entrance when he was when they introduced him at the author thing on stage. And he's doing like that like a kind of magician's dancing.
Yeah. Yeah. He's all trying to look like Fabio.
Yeah, basically. It reminded me of like Arrested Development when Job would dance around.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what, and it was the same song and everything. So I don't know if they were like doing a shout out for that, but it was actually pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, we know Channing Tatum knows how to dance, right? Remember those
Magic
Mike
movies?
movies?
He was on Magic Mike, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is he doing another one? Shit, I don't know. I've never seen the first two.
Was there two? I thought I didn't.
I think there was.
I never even seen the first one.
No, fuck no.
I stayed away from that.
Yeah, I'm not watching that.
I wasn't the main.
It's funny.
I wasn't the main demographic for that one.
No. That what I was about to say was I remember like I was like hanging out with some of the guys one time, and I consider us pretty manly men. We're tough. We like sports and stuff like that, and so we were like hanging out at the bar watching the game and eating wings and stuff. And one of the guys I was with, I don't hang with him all the time, but he's a coworker and stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go watch Magic Mike tonight." I'm like, "Yo, you gonna watch it with your wife?" He's like, "No." Like he's like, "No,
this is all for me.
I'm gonna go see it." Yeah. I'm like, fuck.
It's all me, bud.
I'm like, man, you revoke your band card.
Just gonna get my bottle of lotion.
Yeah, I know.
Just a sock, and I'm just gonna go to town.
Yeah, me and the other guy just kind of look at each other like, you're not forced to watch it with your wife or girlfriend. You're just gonna go on your own volition. All right, man. So
There's this guy at work that we call him Magic Mike because because basically he called in sick one day and we were like, what the hell happened to him? And he was kind of embarrassed to tell us, and then finally when he came back the next day, we finally got him to tell us, and he was like, well, I burned myself. And it was like, with what? He was like, with bacon grease, and like he had, I guess he burned himself like all on his chest.
Oh,
like he was a huge burn.
Oh,
and so I was like, are you sure? He's like, how'd you do with bacon grease? And he was like, well, I was cooking. And I was like, you cooking bacon naked or what?
Yeah, no shit.
And he was like, well, I just didn't have a shirt on. And so like we're like, okay, so we started the rumor that he had burned himself like doing candles, like burning candles on his nipples and stuff. And
yeah. Oh shit.
And we were just telling everybody that's how come he had to call it sick. And so like we started calling him like he was like that was his job, was to like he was a stripper after work, yeah. And so we started calling him Magic Mike, and he would get all pissed off when we told him that.
Shit.
It was fucking bacon grease. I was like, that's not any better.
Yeah, don't sound like it to me, boy. So okay, so back to the movie. So yeah, the Brad Pitt, Jack Trainer was pretty good. Like I said, he was macho, he was suave, sophisticated. He was just a badass. And if you notice, like a lot of Brad Pitt movies, he's always eating. You notice that? Like
I was thinking the same thing. I wrote that in my notes.
Remember they called him on the phone? You could hear him like chomping on an apple.
Yeah, it reminded me of like the Fight Club, like Fight Club when he's talking on the phone, like he's always eating an apple, or like even like in what's the one with the casino where Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11, he was always eating almost in every scene.
And I thought it was in his contract that he has to eat something. But
I wonder if it is, man.
No, but I apparently he does that because like the way he explains it is that his characters are like always busy, and so they don't have time to eat. So like when they're doing stuff, he'd be eating. Mm-hmm. So that's so like.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's basically what I looked it up. I was like, is he on contract? Is in his contract that he has to eat while he's being filmed?
Yeah.
But apparently that's why he does it, because he says the characters that he plays are, he thinks that they're busy enough that they would be eating while they're doing stuff. And so,
really?
Like
that's what it was.
Yeah, like they don't have time. He doesn't like the characters wouldn't have time to sit down and talk, or sit down and eat.
That makes sense. Yeah, and he's been with it. I mean, like I said, I remember him in Sleepers. You remember that movie Sleepers back like in '96? Remember those kids at that boarding school that get raped by the headmaster?
Oh yeah.
And then remember when he goes up, he's the attorney trying to fight for them. But I remember them. He's eating like a hot dog. He's always eating something. And it's weird because like on a lot of TV shows, I mean, I guess it's not prominent, but sometimes they eat, right? But a lot of times, like you'll see them like drink like a cup of coffee, and you can tell it's empty, right? Mm-hmm. Like but he's always like, man, that's what makes him a good actor, man. He's fucking eating.
That's what my character would do. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. But no, his character was good. I thought it was kind of dumb. Remember how he got shot, and the guy that sniper guy with the rifle couldn't hit a fucking barn after that. Remember?
I know. They're like getting away from him all easy.
Gets a headshot and he can't hit anything else, like any of them afterwards. It's like she's in a chair. Remember, he's pulling her around and he can't even fucking hit them or anything. It's just
well,
I don't know.
There was actually like I was surprised how many unexpected deaths that would just happen for like no reason. Like when the henchman's walking up the that side of that cliff.
Oh yeah,
and like
he's all laughing at the dude,
and he just fucking just falls down.
Yeah, he falls to his death. What was his name? Like Julius?
Yeah,
like,
it was like
Julius.
I was like, what kind of name is that? That was pretty funny.
It didn't sound like a kidnapper's name. It's all Julius.
But like, yeah, he just like falls out like, and like, and not that he was a main character, but like it was somebody you would think would be through the whole movie, or at least like have some sort of like fight scene at the end.
Yeah, like he was going to be hard to kill is how I figured. He was going to be one of the tough guys.
Yeah.
That, like, fuck, it's going to take a long time to put him down.
Yeah, which
slips.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty. Like when I saw that, that was one part that I actually laughed really hard.
Yeah,
because
I know. I was like, oh shit,
because I didn't expect it at all, and it was just like,
no.
Oh! And they're like, he's going to be okay. They just like take off.
Yeah, I know. he just falls to his death, like fuck him, like, and Harry Potter's just like fuck him, keep going. It's like all right, but you know, like I was saying, you know, with Brad Pitt, I feel like, you know, once he died, I feel like to me a lot of the movie died with it because like I didn't enjoy a lot of it. Like, don't get me wrong, like certain things were good, like the CGI, like explosions were good, the sound effects were good.
Yeah.
You know, production, like they hit it out of the park. You know, a lot of the cinematography, you know, a lot of the places they went to was really nice.
Yeah. And they were there.
A lot of that stuff was good.
And they were there. It looked like they were actually there. It's not like most movies where it's like it's all green screen now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, blue screen and stuff.
It actually felt like they were there. They were like on location.
Exactly. And one of the things again that I didn't care for was like sometimes like the editing like kind of sagged a little bit. Like some of the jokes were lingering and like just unessential. Like remember like with the motorcycles when they crashed, like remember those guys were driving around the jungle on the motorcycles, like no big deal. Like I was like, what the fuck? Like,
I know, like there's pathways in the
yeah, there's pathways in that jungle that like just no men traverse, and they're just flying, they're just going through there no problem. And I was like, okay, you guys aren't worried about going off a cliff or anything. It was just, that was kind of dumb. But and then when they crashed and then the jokes they just kept making, it's like, you know, I wanted to laugh at them, but I couldn't. Like none of them were funny.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, I remember they just kept like trying to make jokes about, oh yeah, they would have fell anyway, and it was just
their little commentaries after something happened.
Yeah, remember that? Like they're just unessential. Like they just fell flat.
Yeah, like I said, there were some like they were good parts to it, but it was like hit and miss on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it was.
But like for me, it was like there was enough hits that I thought the movie was pretty good. It wasn't like horrible.
Okay.
But I thought the one thing I really was excited to see was the Oscar Nunez from The Office.
Oh yeah,
he was in there. Like his character cracked me because he was all crazy. Like he was like a pilot.
Weird. Yeah,
he was all over that.
Well, he wanted to fuck her. He wanted to fuck
that
Beth.
black chick. Yeah, he wanted to fuck her.
Yeah, he was all over that, man. He wanted her.
And it made me kind of sad,
you know, and that's
because she never wanted him back.
No, I know that's a bummer. Even at the end, we're platonic friends. He's like, I don't know what that means, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, okay. I was like, oh, give him a chance.
Like, he couldn't even get her after he like saved her and shit.
I know. I was like, give him a chance at least. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know. It felt like too. You know, like we got to keep it. You know, politically correct. You know, we can't just because he saves her, he can't have her. I was like, like. Give the boy a chance, man. He, you know, he really liked her, you know, but again, out of like 4 stars, what would you give it?
If I was, I'd give it like probably like 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, it was a little bit. It was an average movie, but it was a little bit above average. I thought because there was, like I said, it was. It wasn't boring. It's not something like I'd watch again. Like I wouldn't go like, oh, I want to see that again. Mm-hmm. But like if I were to go to someone's house and it was playing, I would sit there and watch it again.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd probably give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Okay, so out of 5 stars, you'd give it 3.5.
3.5, yeah.
Okay, I'd probably give it 3. I mean, I was entertained. I didn't feel bored to get up and leave. I just kind of felt like it was a little boring. Like I was waiting to like laugh more or to be more, like, you know, satisfied or, you know, but it just kind of like a lot of stuff just didn't kind of seem to go together. Like they just kept kind of changing scenes. It just kind of like, okay. The leeches, you know, I don't understand how he had the leeches and she didn't have any, you know, just, you know,
yeah.
Just at the end. Remember that? Remember she didn't even check. She didn't even worry about it. Only he did it. I felt like at the end when they kissed, it didn't even feel like it felt forced. Like it seemed like she didn't want it.
Yeah, and like the relationship they had. It felt more like it was like they would have been like a brother and sister.
One-sided.
Like,
well, it felt one-sided. Like he wanted her and she didn't want him, and it was like. Man, he did all this shit to help you out and stuff, and it's still like I don't know. I felt like a brother and sister kiss. You know, it just didn't feel like he got the girl or like she got the guy. You know, so I don't know. I give it like probably like 3, maybe 2.5, 3 stars. I didn't think it was that great, but if it was on again, I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah,
If it was on at somebody's house, I'd be on my phone. Like I wouldn't pay attention to it.
All right, so it's an average movie then.
Yeah, I was average.
All right. Well, all right. Well, let's move on to. We're gonna take a break. We'll move on to the God's favorite idiot when we get back.
Thanks for sticking with us. So this show we got is on Netflix called God's Favorite Idiot with, like Logan said, Melissa McCarthy and Ben Falcone. This is basically a tech support employee becomes the unwitting messenger of God. Now, I am not a huge fan of Melissa McCarthy. I saw her in Mike and Molly, and I felt like she was good in that. She played that. She played a good character in that, but I haven't seen anything else with her that I've liked, honestly. And I remember there's a couple movies that you've talked about with her that you thought were just fell flat. But I felt like this show was just not very good. It was basically, there's a bunch of characters in it that nobody really gives a shit about. There's no real development for them. It's basically the husband and wife in real life, Melissa McCarthy and Ben Falcone, where he basically gets hit by lightning, and he's basically like a messenger of God now, and he glows, and she sees him glowing one night, so she becomes enamored with him, and she has to tell the crew about it, that she saw him, and for some reason it's like a normal conversation. It feels really bland when they were talking about that, like, oh yeah, he was glowing, and she was like, yeah, I was coked out a couple times last week, and then she just kind of kept playing on that, and then I was like, all right, at first it seemed kind of funny, oh yeah, you were coked out, I'd write you off, but then she kept going on about it. I was like, all right, like, sure, we get it, you're a fucking crackhead, so nobody should believe anything you say, but yet everyone still takes you seriously, yet you still she bosses the boss around.
Yeah,
like,
that was
really?
I think that's my main problem with Melissa McCarthy, is that she plays the same character like in every movie.
Exactly.
And it's always like some insane person, and it annoys me because she'll be put in a position that she should be working there. Like she should be in that position, because somebody like that would never be in that position to begin with. Like, I mean, she's drinking at work, and their boss is like, "Oh, just don't,
please don't do that."
Yeah,
type of thing.
And like, I get later that you kind of understand why he's like that. But not in the first episode, because
first episode was introductions.
Yeah, and I felt that was kind of, as far as the first episode went, it really didn't go into why he was glowing or anything, or why he had any kind of special powers. It was basically just like trying to set up the characters, and because of that, it was just a bunch of rambling with each other, and it didn't feel like you really got to know any of the characters.
The development was slow.
The
character development is very slow. Not interesting.
For a series, it felt like it was a really slow development. And by the time you got to the end, the only reason I watched the second episode was to see, like, did they ever explain what happened to him? And it's kind of weird because, like, they just automatically go, "Oh, it's something biblical." Or it's God really quick, and there's
God wants you. He's chosen you.
Yeah, instead of like, okay, this guy's, and it really bothered me, like, throughout the episodes, like they videotaped him glowing, right, and he's like, and he's blowing up, but like in this time period, with so much fake videos, like anybody would really get behind it and actually think that this person was real. Was a God person. It would be more likely just be like nobody would care.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone would be like, it's just some fucking CGI.
Yeah, it's all CGI. Nobody would actually think that there's anything realistic
or filters.
About it.
Yeah, nobody would believe it.
Yeah, nobody
like,
would.
Right,
it would just go through, and nobody on social media, nobody would give a shit.
So on this, everybody did.
But yeah, it's like they were.
Like it was gospel. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, this is truth. It's on camera."
Yeah, what happened? How did this happen and stuff? And I'm like, why would you care? Because I mean, there's so much fake shit like that on the internet. Like nobody would believe it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, why would you believe this in the first place? Like you said, her character's too ditzy. It feels like, and like you said, she's always ditzy, and I don't know why. In the premise on this, if this is good, how this is God related. We all know that per the Bible, women were the problem, right? I mean, she's the one that tempted Adam with the apple. So they're basically playing on that. She's a ditz, and she's women are the problem of Earth. And I don't know. She's worthless. She's always on drugs and not believable. Yet, like I said, she's just always people always believe her. Like you said, her job. They just want her. She's got all this. She doesn't get fired or anything.
Yeah,
it's like,
and I get it's supposed to be a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, it's like she doesn't show like any competence.
No,
and
it tries to be too funny.
Yeah, it's almost like too much, and you're just like,
it just fell flat.
Yeah, she does that with every character, and for some reason, I don't know why she's always on some sort of scooter all the time, like in every show. Like
yeah.
And I know I'm pretty sure it's Ben Falcone, the one that wrote it. I mean, because he created so like. And usually with those movies, he does a lot. He's the one that directs a lot of the movies that she's in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he has this like a couple gags that he thinks just are hilarious, and he just keeps using the same gags.
Keep putting it in.
Yeah.
Huh? I feel like like for an office type setting. So just to give some type of comparison, like remember like the show The Office.
Mm.
Like how stuff would happen, and then they would be like, "All right, that's too far," right?
Mm.
They had limitations.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know where you're going with
right?
this.
And then and it's like, all right, like too far, Michael. You're too cringe. You're too creepy. And then this one is just like there's no limitations, and it's like, okay.
I guess I think what bothered me, there was nobody to pull anybody back.
No.
There was no,
and then the punchlines weren't even good.
Yeah, there was no straight man. If they had a boss. That they had, maybe the boss was a little bit more like
serious
or someone
more...
they had to reckon with, and they had to do all that shit while not getting in trouble at work. That would be a little bit more entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like everybody was a crazy person in that show.
Yeah,
like there was just every character was like basically the same character, but just different people.
And like I said, there's no HR. Like nothing's even. Like I don't know, like working in an office, to me is like, okay, none of this shit can fly. And again, I know it's supposed to be a comedy, but it's kind of like that's what made The Office, like the show The Office, good compared to like this. Is like there was limits, and when you reach them, you're like, oh god, that's cringy, But
yeah.
This one's like, like I was on this and I was on my phone at the same time, and I was kind of listening in the background. I was paying attention, but I was like. Like, I just don't feel like I'm missing anything. Like, I could have just been on my phone the whole time and felt like I didn't miss anything. To me, it wasn't that great. Again, I don't hate Melissa McCarthy because, like I said, I liked her in that show, Mike and Molly. I thought she was a great character in that, but it seems like she started doing movies and stuff. I just feel like she kind of plays the same thing all the time, and it's not my shtick. So
yeah, I feel the same way. So, but would you watch the second episode?
Nah. I think I'm good.
You're done?
Nah, I really don't. And this is a Netflix show, so, Netflix always cancels shit, so I try not to invest in Netflix shows because a lot of times they get canceled after a season or something, so this one only 8 episodes, and I think there was supposed to be originally 16, but they cut it in half, so who knows if this ends on a cliffhanger, if there'll even be an ending to it. So
is that right? I didn't realize that they only filmed half of them.
Yeah, they did. So, again, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Maybe, Netflix shows, if they have like 4 or 5 seasons, then I might check it out. But a lot of times they don't finish, so I just don't waste my time.
Yeah, they end up throwing a lot of shit out there. I don't like
watching shows that don't complete.
Yeah, they end up throwing a lot of shit out there and trying to see what sticks.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. They're losing subscribers.
Yeah, they are.
For the first time.
Yeah. But...
So... I don't know. I would probably out of 5, I'd probably give it like a 1.5.
It'd probably be in the 2 for me, because I did like the concept was good. I thought the idea of it was kind of interesting.
The delivery was not.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because I'm not a big fan of Melissa McCarthy because she's because of what she did with Ghostbusters, and after that
Oh.
I cannot forgive her because like
Did you watch that Ghostbusters?
I did because I'll usually watch anything just to see because I don't like people telling me, hey, this movie's shit, and or it's
you might like it yourself.
like
so
I just want
watch
to
it
see
yourself.
I want to see for myself what
Okay.
if it's bad or not, and I'm usually pretty forgiving about most movies. Like I said, I didn't hate this. Like I liked the premise of it. And I thought it seemed like it'd be interesting, and there was the only reason I watched the second episode was because they kind of just didn't really go into why or why he had this, what happened to him. Like it was just like so I was like, well, I just want to see what if they ever explain it.
Yeah.
And they do eventually, and it's weird because they have that first episode and it's like just a bunch of random shit, and then all of a sudden it's just like it takes off on the second episode, which I wish they would have moved that more to the first episode to make it more interesting, and then go from there.
So you're gonna finish it?
I'm not gonna finish it because once I got to the second episode, I was just like, okay, I can't watch Melissa McCarthy. It's because she doesn't slow down. It's just more of the same.
Oh, really? Still her wackiness,
Yeah,
trying
just
to be
still wackiness,
out
like-
too far out there.
Yeah, and she just annoys me. I know a lot of people like her. But I just don't. And I don't know if she wasn't in it, maybe I would have probably watched it. If they had if there was another actress that wasn't,
Was she the same way in Ghostbusters?
Yeah, but she's basically the same character in every movie. If it's a comedy, it's basically if it's a comedy, she plays that same person.
Oh, so she tries to. I guess that's where her good luck is.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because of because most of the movies that she does is because her husband directs it, and he's like because I've seen her in other stuff that's not comedy, and she's actually not bad. Like I don't, like I can sit there and be like, okay, yeah, this wasn't bad. I mean, she wasn't like the highlight of the movie, but I mean, she didn't take anything away from it. But it's when she does comedies with, I think, her husband. It's it's usually I just can't stand it.
Gotcha. No, it makes sense. Like I said, she's not my favorite either, but again, I mean, some people love her, so they'll watch anything with her. But yeah, no thanks. I think I'm gonna pass. Hard pass on this.
Hard pass. Well, I can't say I passed because I did watch the second episode, but I wouldn't finish the season.
There you go. Okay, so next week we're going to be watching Amsterdam, which is on HBO Max. And it looks like it has Maria Ivoli. So this looks like it might be Spanish. It's in Mexico City, so I'm sure there's subtitles for those who don't have one. So we'll review that. And what do you got?
So next week we're going to be watching Hustle, which is a Adam Sandler film. And Adam Sandler plays a talent scout who for the NBA who discovers a raw talent in Spain and tries to prepare him for the NBA draft.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. I've heard good things about it, so I'm pretty excited to watch that one.
I sure hope so. Because
Yeah.
Adam Sandler, to me, he always falls flat. So I hope this is good. Just not a fan of that guy. Man.
I like Adam Sandler. I admit his last couple movies weren't that great, but I always have to give him a shot because every once in a while he hits one.
Well, we'll find out next week and we'll talk about it.
All right. See everybody next week.
Bye, everyone.